This is the Destroy Manila podcast. First of all, thank you for being on the podcast, and
Yes.
maybe you can give our listeners or viewers a brief overview of your background and why you got into MMA.
Yeah, so basically why I got into martial arts in general was I just finished the end of my rugby league career,
Yeah.
and I gained a bit of weight. I went up to about 86 kilos.
Wow.
I had no confidence. I was shy, and I had to lose the weight. And I started off in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. My mate brought me into a gym, which is currently where I'm training at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I had my first hit session, and you know what? I fell in love.
Yeah, and I guess after that, the rest is history, right?
And then from there, yeah. So from there, a year and a half of training, I thought I'd like test myself in jiu-jitsu comps. I came third, and then at the time, MMA was starting to boom with a couple of guys from our gym fighting. So I took inspiration from them fighting, and I pushed myself to my limits to compete as well. And from there I had my first amateur tournament, and I took 2 tournaments out, and I was like, it's time to get in the cage, and we went from there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Awesome. Martin, has it sunk in the kind of history you've made? You now join other 2 division champs like BJ, Connor, GSP, and of course Dan Henderson. Is it surreal right now, or has everything sunk in?
Man, to be honest with you, I didn't. Like, I knew one day I will be champion. I didn't expect to be a dual division world champion. And it's something every MMA fighter ever dreams of. So, in terms of becoming a world champion, a double world champion, I mean, it's so surreal, and I'm still on cloud 9 at the moment. So yeah.
Yeah. How's family back home taking that you're now the 2 division champion?
Yeah, do people when you come in to say champ is here?
That's it, man. I swear everywhere I go now, it's the champ is here. But look, they know how hard I've worked. I've spent a long time away from them as well. So throughout that Gasparov camp, it was pure 8 weeks of training. Some days I didn't get to see my kids. Some days I didn't see my wife as long as I wanted to. And after that Gasparov fight, I thought I'd spend a bit more time with them, at least a couple of months before I actually got back into training again. And when One Championship offered this opportunity, like 2 weeks after my victory, it was straight back into camp and went from there.
Mm.
So the time that I've spent away from them is a long time, and you know what? It's rewarding to be a dual world champion. I've sacrificed a lot. So
Yeah, and now you are indeed part of MMA history because of your 2 division title.
Exactly. Very few people have achieved this.
Yeah.
We were there, of course, covering your fight, and it was just such an amazing move. Can you? We're still aghast at and amazed at how you did it, especially. Can you talk to us about the kind of preparation you did? Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, it says, man, it was all silence of that whole arena. But silence as in I shocked the world and shocking the world again from my last fight against Gavrov. Look, the game plan through this fight was to wear Eduard out, utilize wrestling and ground and pound in the later rounds, and take advantage of my the grappling side of what I have. And the plan wasn't to stand and strike with Edward. Edward's a gun striker,
Yeah.
and he comes from legit striking school, Team Lakay. So we wanted to keep it as safe as possible when coming to stand up and just wear him out, take him down, and finish him from there. But just natural reaction and throughout fight camp, and we trained a lot of spinning stuff and countering spinning stuff. Natural reaction just got the better of it, and I timed it perfect with that right hand.
You were talking about that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And did it help that you already faced someone from Team Lakay before in Eduard Kelly?
No, not really. That fight with Edward Kelly only went for the 3 minutes or 4 minutes, whatever it lasted. But yeah, Edward Kelly fight. The fight was called off due to a doctor stoppage. He had a deep cut on his forehead. It didn't help me at all because that first round, there was nothing to analyze and nothing to expect. Whereas against Edward, I had to watch previous fights of his and what he done frequently. I had to adjust to that, and I've got most of the boys from KMA to mimic his fighting style, and it was very hard to mimic the style because he's such a good counter fighter and such a good counter striker as well. So it took me a while to adjust. I copped a lot of spinning back kicks, a lot of spinning back fists from the guys at KMA. So yeah, at the end of the day, it was perfect timing on my end and perfect execution.
Yeah, and well, that perfect timing and execution. Well, it brought you another title, the lightweight title. Yeah, and well, I know in the lightweight division, the next in line for the championship was supposed to be Ev Ting. So how do you think you would fare against Ev Ting if that would be the next fight for you?
To be honest, I personally like to see Ev Ting fight at least one or two more fights before he gets a title shot, being another title shot loss.
Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, he's Ev Ting. Yeah, so I'd like to see him fight at least one more or two more times before he gets a title shot, because I think title shots are given too easy these days.
Yeah.
And for take me for example, I lost against Gaffarov, who I was like a billion fight. I had to win 4 next fights, all in the first round, all in devastating fashion, to earn my rematch against Gaffarov. And even to then, I didn't think that I would have got a rematch with Gaffarov. I thought I would have had to at least fight one more time, and then that will give one no more choice. But apparently they were finding it hard to find Gaffarov opponents, so they offered me to him.
That would be great. You know what we're interested in as well is either maybe the winner of but then again Ben's retiring, Ben against Shinya, or probably welcoming Gary Tonon to one championship.
Yeah, I think Gary Tonon, legit grappler. Don't get me wrong. I favor his jiu-jitsu like crazy. His stand-up, no one's ever seen him strike before.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true.
Putting him against someone like Ev Ting, he's bound to go to sleep. So I think one championship will ease him into his professional career, beating him someone who's had not much experience as he has, and start building his confidence up from there. But if they throw him into deep waters, it's deep waters for him. So I think that will feed him opponents to get his confidence up before they throw him in the deep end.
Exactly. You've also talked about before this. You also talked about probably taking on Bibiano. Would that interest you as well?
Look, fighting Edward was never the plan. The plan was to win my title, defend my title until I get my weight down correctly and accordingly and fight Bibiano.
Whoa!
Wow.
The fight against Bibiano, we never know if it's gonna happen or not, but
that would be amazing, though.
Yeah.
I'm confident about my weight. I'm confident about my skill set when it comes to fighting Bibiano. Whether one championship sees that or not, or sees the opportunity to let me fight him, it's up to them at the end of the day. But nothing's been confirmed.
Yeah.
On our end or his end. So.
Oh well, actually, I think he heard your statement during the post-fight interview.
Press con. Yeah.
Post-fight press con, and Bibiano Fernandez actually responded, and he expressed interest in a champ versus champ match against you.
I'll leave the decision and the talking up to one championship, but if that fight has been offered, I'd say 100% I'm in, but we'll see what happens.
We would love to see that.
Bibiano's a legend, man. Bibiano's,
yes.
He's put his time into the sport, more time than most fighters out there. He's taken out massive names. For someone like me to go against Bibiano, I'd say it's an honor to even share a minute of the cage time in there with him. So regardless if the fight happens or not, I'll be honored.
Yeah. And
take him on.
Well, considering that if and when that happens, if one championship gives you that fight, well, where would you want that to happen? Would you want that to happen in Sydney or maybe in Vietnam?
Definitely want to go back to Vietnam, and definitely want one championship to come home to Sydney. The crowd will be massive here if I fight for that third world title. But you know what? I'll leave it up to Victor Chatri and the guys over at One to decide whether they'll be. But in terms of me, where I want to fight, I probably want to go back to Manila. The guys are the best when it comes to crowd action, and you know what? Putting on a fight in front of you guys are very, very well educated. So Manila is one of the famous spots to fight at the moment.
Yeah. And with that fight, you earned. Yeah.
Sorry, keep going.
Yeah. So after that fight with Edward, you earned a lot of fans in Manila. I know a lot of people were definitely rooting for Edward, him being from the Philippines. But man, after what you did, when everybody just shut up after you knocked the lights out of Edward, you gained a lot of fans in the Philippines.
Yeah, look, to be honest, I didn't expect anything less of everyone going for the hometown hero. I expect everyone to go for him because he is the man. He's the one that's put Filipino mixed martial arts on the map. And, to finish Eduard like that, as I said in the press conference, it was a hard pill to swallow to see him fall like that, because he is a friend of mine, but to see a champion go down like that, there was no look. It's all respect from my side when it comes to Eduard. Well, we both got families, we both have jobs to do, we're both mixed martial artists, and we're here to entertain the fans. And there's no time for the showboating when it comes to someone like Eduard. He's a veteran and a legend in this sport as well,
And
that's awesome.
Yeah, what you did after that vicious knockout was very, very classy.
We love that show of respect.
Yeah, so when I seen Eduard fall, and it kind of clicked to me, I was like, man, Eduard's knocked out. I have to get his I went for his mouth guard to take it out, but not knowing that that's the ref's job to do, I was just like, I was caring for a friend, So I was like, let's get this mouth guard out. Let's get him back to consciousness. But that's when Olivia and the doctor told me to step back, and I realized, like, oh shit, let the professionals do their job,
Yeah.
We just love that. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, they've been more situations like that than I have, but yeah, it kind of shocked me.
It's just awesome to see that kind of return to the spirit of martial arts, especially now that in the UFC there's been a change of champions. Like GSP is such an awesome role model for that kind of level of martial artist, now you as a 2 division champ, it seems to me there's some kind of sea change going on in MMA in general, with martial artists rather than fighters and trash talkers um, being on the ascendant.
Yeah, I think there was a little bit of a period where Conor McGregor set bad names for mixed martial artists as being bad guy. But in terms
Yes.
of being a bad guy, he had to play that role to actually bring the fans in, and that's what the fans wanted to see at that time. But I think this is a new era where the humbled fighter, takes over. Where it's all about respect when it comes to martial arts. Okay, both fighters are there to take each other's heads off, but at the end of the day, you're respecting each other. You're showing that genuine growth of respect because you're going through the same journey. So I think that's a really important factor when it comes to a competition matchup.
And you can kind of see the difference between how the West markets its mixed martial arts and how us in Asia deal with it.
Yeah, no. So the way One Championship is promoting us fighters is it's absolutely tremendous. They're actually bringing out the real values of a martial artist instead of the values of an actor. So, so this
Exactly.
this is how a real martial artist should act. This is we're role models at the end of the day. People look up to us. If we can inspire people through martial arts, this is our job. We'll do it.
Yeah.
Speaking of fan bases, you went back to Vietnam, and can you talk to us a bit about the MMA scene there? What you saw, how the industry is going there?
No, I mean I'm based in Australia. I
Yeah,
haven't been to
yeah.
Vietnam yet.
You,
We are due to go to Vietnam hopefully in December. I'm not sure. We're in talks at the moment of getting a permit to go over and do a media tour. So
okay.
um, going to Vietnam, look, the Vietnamese community is strong. We're all warriors there. We respect each other, and look, we're there to inspire the community. So I'm their hometown hero. I'm their platform when it comes to mixed martial arts,
Okay.
and I want to put them on the map. So it's a media tour is in talks of going to Vietnam. When in December, hopefully. If not, it'll be early
Okay.
next year.
Cool. Of course, we all know Australian MMA is like one of the biggest in Asia. We wanted to just talk to you about if you were going to go there, like maybe you could do something like what Brandon Vera did for the Philippines and like set up camp there, uplift their industry, stuff like that.
Yeah, so Brandon Vera is doing a very good job over in the Philippines. It's a tough, tough decision and a tough pill to swallow to move away from your hometown where you grew up most of your life, and start a new life in a different country. It's it's a tough decision to make, and in the eye, he's doing a very good job. Uh, the Filipino mixed martial arts scene. So him and Eduard is like the biggest guys over there, biggest role models. So everyone looks up to him. So huge respect to them, man.
Cool. Going back to like just daily life for you, we wanted to ask how do you have time for a full-time job and still be a champion,
Yeah.
all your duties, like
Yeah,
how does that, how do you like figure it out, man? With your time, family,
yeah,
stuff
so
like that,
basically,
training.
it's the main sole person that helps me the most is my wife. She allows me to do what I love and what I'm good at, and she steps up as a parent double time to look after the kids. And working a full-time job, um, look, the money is good.
Yeah.
One championship is looking after us, but in terms of paying the mortgage, paying bills, I can't rely on fighting money to be paying bills. So I
Okay.
have to work. But yeah, it is what it is. You have to put your family first in every situation, no matter what. So when I became
That's
a
true.
father, I made that decision to look after my family. So
That's true.
me becoming a full-time fighter without a sole income, it's a selfish decision on my end.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's just an awesome. It's an awesome way to handle life in general, man. Just head on.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, so if nothing's not broken, why change it? If I can become a dual division world champion while working, anyone can do it. Work is not an excuse.
yeah, that is true. And I like your attitude towards things. You're already a two-division champion, and you still get to have a day job, which is awesome. I mean,
And have time for family.
and have time
Exactly.
for family. I mean, there
Yeah.
are fighters who, for some reason, get out of their full-time jobs to do MMA, but then are not able to provide enough for their families, even if, say, they're fighting in the West.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah, you gotta. It's all about time management, and luckily I have a workplace that really supports me. So when it comes to media time and flight time, I get the time off. They're 100% behind me where they'll look after me when it comes to that as well. So look, it's a very hard thing to do, but work is like brain training at the same time. If you're so stuck into MMA and everything is about MMA, you go mad, So my time at work is like a break away from mixed martial arts.
Okay. Oh, and by the way, so in line with the training that you had, going back to the training that you had before the fight with Edward, I know one of the vital people in your camp is someone from the Philippines. Your Filipino trainer. What kind of tips did he give you coming into that fight?
Yeah, so my coach, Filipino coach Chrysler,
Mm-hmm.
he's been with me since my first loss to Marat Gafarov, and we've evolved my striking to another level. So he's my boxing coach, my striking coach in general, and look, we sat down, we watched the fight, we watched what type of striker Gafarov and Eduard was, and we utilized our game. So we start game planning from there. And Master Fire, the main coach, the head coach of KMA Top Team, he gets involved, and we start game planning all together. We start working throughout the 6 to 8 weeks. If something's not working, then we adjust it. It's all about adjusting and getting used to what works well and how we're going to execute our game plan. So I've got a strong team behind me, from training partners to coaches, and I'm blessed. So hats off to those guys.
Mm-hmm. And well, by the way, we asked some of the fans if they had any questions for you. One of the things that a lot of people are wondering about was, what's the story behind your moniker, The-Situ-Asian?
How did you get that? It's the coolest moniker in Asia.
Yeah.
Everyone asks me, but yeah, I'll explain it again to you guys. It's a funny one. It started off as a gym joke. So at the time when I first started on my mixed martial arts career, there was a TV show, The Jersey Shore, and there was someone in that show named The-Situ-Asian.
Oh yeah.
So he's the situation. He called himself The Situation because of his abs. And at that time when I just started fighting, I was 77 kilos, and I cut down to 70 kilos. And I showed a bit of abs, not as much, but I showed a bit of abs, and they were calling me The Situation in comparison. And then when the months go by and I cut down to 65 kilos for my featherweight debut, I was shredded. So I had like lines and abs everywhere. And they were still calling me The Situation, but then I was like, no, don't call me The Situation. If you're you want to call me a nickname, at least call me a situation like that. Asian, they were calling me situation. I'm like, call me the situation instead. And then from there, the months go by, and everyone's stuck with the situation. This is like a jig joke, and every time you see me, they say, hey, it's a situation. And yeah, it went from there.
Yeah, but if you were to
That's
choose,
awesome.
if you were to choose, what name would you have wanted?
Yeah, well, would you change it now, or if you had the chance?
No, I'll just stick to Martin Nguyen. You know, I'm not really a big fan of nicknames. But I mean, it's something that someone's given me, something that everyone goes by. And look, there's only one situation in MMA history, so
Exactly.
I'm that guy. You mentioned situation, I'm that guy.
It is now one of the most historic nicknames.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe we should start a poll. What should Martin Nguyen's new moniker be? Maybe we should start a Twitter poll about that. But sir, you are a credit to Asian MMA. Thank you so much. Is there anybody you'd like to thank or like advice to? Because you want a lot of fans in the Philippines and I'm sure the rest of Southeast Asia.
I'd like to say thank you to the Philippines, Manila, for being so welcoming. I'd like to thank my team, my coaches, Krasla and Farid Shaliyevsky, my sponsors, Century Martial Arts, Bad Boy, Fighters Against Child Abuse Australia, and main guys, Saigon Sports Club in Vietnam. Thank you for looking after me. Thank you for supporting me. And the fans, I'd like to thank the fans for being faithful and, you know what, keeping me humble.
Yeah, right now you're the best example of what a champ should be.
And the martial artist
and
should
a
be.
martial artist.
Thank you so much.
Martin, one last question. For the up and coming MMA fighters, is there like one thing that they should remember, one message that they could get from you, one advice?
Yeah, so for up and coming MMA fighters, if you want to start off MMA, if you want to start off fighting, if you want to just start off anything in life, just remember where you came from, what you started with, who you started with, and who stuck by you, and just believe in yourself. If you believe in yourself, anything can happen.
Awesome. Just awesome. Thank you so much. That was a 2-division champ of one championship, lightweight and featherweight champion, Martin The-Situ-Asian Nguyen.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
We'd love to see you fight in the Philippines again.
Yes, that would be awesome.
Thank you.
Have a great day, Martin.
Have a great day, Martin. Thank you for your time. Bye-bye.